Dudes and dudettes, how are you guys? This is Chazzy, and today I'm gonna be talking about something that I love but also hate at the same time, which is people. Human beings, the human race, the dominant species of this planet, although I have no idea how we still are the dominant species of anything, because we really suck, you know, and it's just, I think that, you know, animals in nature should retake dominance of this earth as it was so many eons ago before we even came to exist on this realm of existence, and I think I'm getting really off topic here. Okay, so today's video is very strongly inspired by this one here by Priime, where he talked about easily butthurt people, and it was also inspired by something that happened to me recently with somebody who I thought was a friend of mine but turned out to be just a butthurt little douchebag. So yeah, that's kind of two of the main sources of inspiration for this video, but let's get into it. So to those of you who don't know, the term butthurt refers to any person who is very easily offended by literally anything. It's the kind of people that you wonder how even exist and function in society and how they even have friends and form relationships and get jobs, because literally everything offends them, you know? No matter what you say, they get offended and they want to come at you with knives and swords, you know, and they usually have no sense of humor at all. Now, the video that Ryan recorded gave a few different examples. He did a little skit of sorts where he took different people, different kinds of butthurt people, and put them into situations that you normally do actually find them in, you know, in the way that they annoy you. Now, basically, this is something that my generation suffers a lot from. Like, not exactly my generation per se. I'm coming up on my 30 years of life already, you know, and the thing is that I think the current generation, the people now, the ones who are a little younger than me, they are the generation that most suffer from this, you know, and very few people, not too many that I know in my generation, have already this, what I call butthurt disease, right? Now, I think that the world is getting more and more butthurt. You know, people today are like the youth of today is very easily offended by everything and anything, you know? You can't talk about politics or religion or even sports in some degree that everyone gets offended, and they have some kind of weird necessity to have a strong opinion about everything that you say, you know, and they just want to clash with everyone, and it's actually very annoying. Now, in my case, something happened some time ago between a former friend of mine, and it's actually very strange to talk about, because like this video is not an indirect message to that person, because I blocked him or her from seeing my channel and all of my social media branches. I want nothing at all to do with this person anymore. But basically, try to imagine a person who is very annoying, very narcissistic, pretty much humorless, you know, very conceited, you know, and somebody who is always insulting you, you know, like trying actively to put you down, you know, and then one day you say something that's meant to be as a joke, but then they take it the wrong way, they get legitimately offended, and then they start cursing you out. They say that you're this and that you're arrogant, that you're you know, a bunch of other things that I can't say here on YouTube because, you know, it's gonna involve cursing. But basically, that's kind of what happened to me, you know. Somebody who I thought was a friend of mine, who I thought had a sense of humor, you know, and who kept offending and insulting me so many times, but I just kept putting up with it because this person is an European living in Brazil, you know, and they don't have any friends at all here, and I tried really hard to be their friend so they would feel less left out, you know. I tried to introduce people who speak their native language to them, you know, but in the end, he or she decided to just be a butthurt little jerk about it, and, you know, just take something that was meant to be a joke the wrong way, and I got really angry, and I just, you know what, forget this, you know, I just dropped everything, and that person means nothing to me because I hate butthurt people. I hate people who have no sense of humor. If you don't have a sense of humor, it's going to be really hard for you to be friends with me, you know, or if you're a woman, it's going to be really hard for you to date me because I'm a very humorful person. I don't even know if that word exists, but I just made it up if it doesn't, you know. So I consider myself to have a very strong sense of humor. Even dark humor can make me laugh, you know? So if you're somebody who's very easily offended and you can't take a joke, then you probably should stay off the internet and the planet Earth, in general. You know, you shouldn't really try to socialize with people if you're gonna take everything the wrong way and think that everything is meant to offend you, you know? And yeah, it's just that kind of thing, you know? It really, really rattles me because, I mean, some people like to make a big deal out of nothing. Like, they do a small favor for you, and I mean a very small favor, but in their head, they just gave you a kidney. You know, they make a big deal out of the smallest things, you know, even if it's a bad thing, like you saying something to them that's meant to be taken as a joke, you know, like you call them a friendly name or something, but then they make a big deal out of that and they take it as you insulting them. It's like you called their mother fat or something, you know, and that is the definition, the embodiment of butthurtness. I think that people today really just need to take a chill pill. You know, I think that there are much bigger problems happening in the world right now. You know, 2020 will probably go down as the worst year in all of human history, you know? And yet there are people who still think that there's enough time for them to get butthurt about stupid little things that don't contribute anything to the bigger picture, you know? But that's just the way I think. That's just the way I feel. Now, I'm a guy with very, very strong opinions, you know? And I don't have a lot of patience for people like the ones that I'm describing here in this video, you know? And I think that as time goes by, I'm starting to become more and more numb to certain things. You know, I'm becoming numb to people's bull crap. You know, it's like things don't affect me today as they used to a few years ago, you know? Like, I used to be a very dramatic person, you know? And I don't know, there's actually another video by Ryan Higa that's called, I think, Overly Dramatic People. I'm gonna leave a link to it here. It's kind of funny because that video kind of ties into the whole easily butthurt people, because it's people who are too dramatic. They make a huge deal out of nothing, you know? It's like the kind of person who wants to create issues, who wants to have problems with other people, who wants to have conflict, you know? It's like, I don't know, maybe they're sitting at home bored doing nothing, and then they're the kind of people who post stupid negative stuff on YouTube, you know, the famous YouTube trolls kind of thing, you know? Like, I used to be a YouTube troll a long time ago, you know? This is a very closely guarded secret of mine, but I began my YouTube career as a troll. You know, back in the early days of YouTube, I would go online and start randomly criticizing people because nobody knew it was me, mostly because it was funny, you know, to see people getting pissed at me trolling them and all that, you know? And that's kind of like, it's like people who are butthurt are kind of like living trolls, you know? They want to create issues, they need problems, they need something, they need some kind of conflict in their lives, you know? And that's kind of how these people work, you know? Like, sometimes there's nothing happening. They're sitting in the room with 10 other people, everyone is in silence, and all of a sudden they stand up and say, hey, that sweater makes you look fat, those jeans make you look skinny, I don't know, you look ugly, you do this. Like, they get up and start creating nonsense problems out of thin air, you know? Now, obviously, the best way to deal with these kind of people is to just simply straight up ignore them, which is what I always do, you know? And like, I mean, I'm not a very patient person, guys, you know? I mean, maybe on YouTube it's not very, it may not be too apparent, but I am very, very impatient. I don't have a lot of patience at all, especially for people. I love animals, you know, but I do not have patience for humans, you know? And I'm a very sociable person, you know? I'm very friendly, I'm very outgoing, I'm really extroverted, you know? And it kind of shows the fact that I'm a YouTuber, you know? I don't have any problems with getting in front of a camera and recording for a bunch of people, you know? I have over 1,000 subscribers, but it's like, I don't know, at the same time, I'm not very patient. Like, if I'm sitting in a group of people and one of them starts pissing me off, I'm either just gonna ignore them or just get up and walk away and find another group of more interesting people, you know? I have very, very little tolerance for socializing if it's with somebody who's too different than me, you know? And if you're somebody who's butthurt and easily offended by things, then we're gonna have a hard time getting along, you know? That's just the way things go. Now, I recommend you guys watch those videos by Ryan that I left here in the video because they are actually very, very entertaining and very informative, you know? Me, I'm just doing a simple vlog talking about, but Ryan actually does skits. He creates sketches around these videos that are actually really creative and really cool, so I recommend you guys go check those out as soon as you can. But I don't know why I keep going. It's like people have been calling me out on this habit of mine. I don't know why I do it. It's like a reflex thing. I do it in my gameplays a lot too. I don't know why. Now, another factor to consider here is that I live in Brazil, you know, and even though I was gonna say the wrong thing. even though I was raised, I was gonna say created, like I was made in a laboratory, even though I was raised in the United States, I still am Brazilian, and I've been living in this country for over a decade now, so I kind of like picked up on how Brazilians work, you know? And I have a very strong Brazilian side, as I still have my pseudo-American side. And if you are somebody who comes from outside of Brazil and you want to live here or even visit for a while, you have to understand that we have a very strong sense of humor, you know? Brazilians make fun of pretty much anything and everything and everyone, you know? So there's really no limits to what we make fun of. Now, I don't consider myself too Brazilian in this department. Like I don't make jokes about serious things like natural disasters and terrorist attacks and things like that, you know, or the coronavirus, which is what people are doing here a lot. But still, if you're a gringo from anywhere in the world and you come here and you don't have a sense of humor, you're going to suffer. You're going to have a really hard time socializing and making friends, you know? And that's kind of like the message that I want to hammer home here, you know? And I think that, like, I mean, living in this country has taught me a lot. You know, I've learned quite a lot from my fellow countrymen, and I think I've also taught people different things too that I brought with me from the United States, you know? And there are two very different senses of humor here, and I actually have a video on my channel. It is my most viewed, my most popular, but also my most controversial video so far on this channel, comparing American humor with Brazilian humor, you know? And if you actually have the time to, if you understand Portuguese and you want to look at the comments, you're gonna see so many Brazilians, you know, cursing me out and telling me off and wanting me to go kill myself, you know, because Brazilians have a problem. They don't really know how to respect other people's opinions, but it's not just Brazilians. I think that the person who I was talking about earlier in this video is the same exact thing, you know. They really don't know how to respect people's opinions that are different than theirs, you know. And they are a stranger in a strange land, you know, so it's just, yeah, I used to feel sorry for them and now I don't anymore. I just don't care because, like I said, I've become numb to it all. I've become numb to all of the nonsense. Yeah. This video has been a long time coming, you know. I wanted to record this for a while, but I never really got around to it. And I think that's it, really, you know. I have a stopwatch now. I have my phone here. I'm actually trying to keep my videos in a certain length, you know, because I have issues with videos becoming too short, or sometimes they're too long. So I'm recording with a stopwatch next to me, so I can sort of keep my videos anywhere between 10 and 15 minutes. It's very cool. Makes me feel so professional. But anyway, I think I'm gonna wrap this up here. I think I'm already coming to the end here. I think the video isn't a good enough length, you know. I don't want it to be too long, and I also don't want it to be too short. We gotta get these things over 10 minutes, am I right? Okay, so I think that's it, guys. I think that's it. I think that's all I can say about this topic now, and I'm gonna go already and record another one here. But yeah, if you know anyone, if you have any friends who are too butthurt or easily offended, if I were you, I'd be careful around them, you know? Tread lightly, because no matter what you say, they're gonna take you seriously and think that you're trying to tell them off, so yeah. So beware the butthurtness. Until then, this is Chazzy, signing out for now, and as always, I will see you guys in the next video.